Hey Total Gym team, it's JD, Total Gym Master Trainer here. And now Bionic JD, because I got a brand new hip replacement here, just over 7 weeks old. So I want to tell you a quick story, way pre-surgery, and then pre-surgery, and then after, what happened after. So first of all and foremost, this doesn't have to be just about a hip if you're considering knee replacement or ankle replacement or even shoulder replacement. The Total Gym is so safe to use, and it's so variable to whatever level you at that it's the best tool. So 10 years ago when I was first diagnosed with that osteoarthritis, I had to seek out lower impact activities to keep my exercise going. And that's what I did. I stopped running, I started doing more elliptical, and then I discovered Total Gym. And I loved it so much I got certified in their personal training, and then in their group exercise, and then actually in their Pilates program, which really helped my body for many, many years to put this off as long as possible. And then in post-rehab. So, moving up towards my surgery, now I had to put all that knowledge to work. And the first thing I did, knowing that I had been compensating on my surgical side, or what was to be my surgical side, I would get on the Total Gym on a fairly high level, maybe mid to high level. And you can see my shoes are off because I'm not doing anything ballistic or anything. But I would just close my eyes and start with the weak side and do about 15 repetitions. Really focus on staying in, a very neutral position, knowing I had compensation patterns all over my spine and hips. And then I would switch to my other leg and do about 15 repetitions. And then just internally try to engage how weak I was on my weaker side. Obviously it was weaker, so guess what I did? I picked a lot more on that side prior to surgery just to get the strength up in that leg, and that helped me considerably. I've had 4 physical therapists already since the surgery, and they've all told me that I've been recovering with flying colors. So let's move on to the next segment. Here's a couple of ways that the Total Gym totally saved me post-surgery. So I get to use this wonderful thing for about 6 days, and after that, during that, most of my post-rehab was lying down, completely lying down, so my mobility was very limited, but I knew I needed to stretch, and my physical therapist told me I needed to stretch. So, with my other foot, I can just do this quadricep hip flexor stretch, and I decided to use the Total Gym and my walker so I could get my foot up there. That's why I have the towel there. And then I could really just ease into the stretch, because I felt really, really tight through the quadricep and the kneecap and the hip flexor, and that really helped me get loosened up. Another one of my favorite stretches was my low back had gotten so tight from just a lot of sitting and lying down. So you've seen me do this before, team. The good old hamstring low back stretch, just using gravity. And then of course I would turn that into an exercise. So my medical teams told me no heavy lifting, but the further I inquired, they just meant no lifting that required the hip joints. So the other thing I loved about the Total Gym in my first weeks of recovery was I was still able to do all my favorite upper body exercises, because look how easy it is to get on this machine. One of the reasons they're in most physical therapy offices. So I could do my chest and my shoulders and my triceps and all my favorite exercises to keep my body moving so I wouldn't go crazy. Now another stretch exercise and strengthening, I love to multitask, as you guys know. So similar to to my pre-rehab, my pre-surgery, I would do what I call the figure 4 squat. So, adding this stretch so my hip is opening up, and then I would just relax and go down until I feel a comfortable stretch and extend up. So now I'm strengthening this leg, stretching this hip, and I'm just curious to see what happens. This is the surgical one. Yeah, it still feels pretty tight. So there are some wonderful exercises you can do, team, no matter what your surgery is. And I got a few more posts to come. So stay tuned and keep the questions coming because I have a lot of information to share on joint replacement.